Hello, hello, THL. Welcome to Sunday Showdown. I'm your stream up for the evening. That's what I forgot to get. I have two wonderful individuals that have offered their time to help cast tonight. So we got the Hall of Famer, Ron Mexico. How you doing, sir?
Hey, doing great as always, Saku. Glad to be here for a Legacy Championship match to cast. Should be a good one.
Yeah, and then we got a semi-retired, but always just in time. How you doing?
Sorry, I'm gonna have to correct you there. It's not semi-retired. I am retired.
He's fully retired. Okay, so
From competitive Hearthstone.
a fully retired Justin.
It's very clear and unambiguous. I don't know how anyone could make that mistake or mess it up.
Sure.
So, this is the finals of the Legacy series.
Yes, it is.
Some excitement.
We have a Season 22 closed list Conquest participants versus the Diamond 5. The Diamond 5 currently hold a 9-5 lead in this series, and it comes down to the final two games. First up, we have Kotamora versus You Kitten Me, and the points no longer matter at this stage, given where we are. If Kotamora wins, the Diamond 5 will win the championship. If You Kitten Me wins, it sets up our second match that we have on the docket for tonight as an if necessary, which is Izat versus Dankus Dad. And once again, it just comes down to winner take all. A 3-0, a 3-1, a 3-2 will not make any difference for the final outcome.
So that was really interesting as well, with first match going 3-1 to the Diamond 5, and then the second match, Neji deciding to win a match in playoffs for the first time in recent memory, but not only win a sweep, it was with the score of 8-1. The remaining three matches could have all been 2-3s. Diamond 5 was still taking the week, so all they had to do was just not lose awfully. Unfortunately, or the third match, so someone did just that.
Indeed. Hey,
so
what's up, Hit Me?
Ourselves in the current situation here.
Well, listen, we do it for the content.
That's
if I had
right.
actually won, we wouldn't even have a Sunday night match. And if I had won two matches, then it wouldn't have been as exciting. I had to. We'll go with that.
Yeah.
Love to hear it.
Ron's all for the content, as is everybody else. We like drama. We like the build up.
Getting into this match, I see the classes was a double priest ban, but Kitten has left a rogue, warlock, and warrior against Kotamora's druid, rogue, and warlock. So rogue and warlock on each side, and then warrior versus druid. Who do you think's favored based on this? I'm just looking at them now for the first time. I assumed the same is not true of you, Ron, since you are directly in this series. But
yeah, first time I've seen it for sure. Haven't put any thought into this matchup at all. It looks interesting because You Kitten Me's warrior has a distinct edge over most druid decks. But is potentially one that could be more susceptible to being targeted, whereas the rogue and warlock on either side, there are also multiple different types of options for those two classes. I wouldn't put a distinct edge on either side. As of right now, I think this will be a pretty interesting clash.
I mean, I'd imagine when you have 2 out of 3 classes mirrored, it's never going to be a huge advantage on paper one way versus the other. But I guess the rock, paper, scissors of what are you going to bring, then maybe it could be. But
yeah, it could easily boil down to how the classes are queued and what the matchups are for specific things. Mirror matches are always tricky, and then mainly, for instance, for Kotamora, it might come down to having the druid dodge the warrior if possible. Whereas for You Kitten Me, it could be exactly the opposite, where he tries to make sure that warrior runs into the druid and leverage his way.
Order. I'd imagine that druid just has to be aggro, otherwise you're really vulnerable to rogue plus a zoo plus an enraged warrior. But if Kitten knows that druid from Kodomora has to be aggro, then maybe they could bring some differing options from their own side of like if you want to go control warrior plus like phylactery lock plus some sort of thief rogue, those three are all pretty good into aggro druid.
And then we go deeper into the mind games, and maybe aggro druid doesn't get
Kodomora
brought.
brings the range druid, and okay, wait, that actually is really interesting.
The players are diving into game one. You Kitten Me is going to lead off with the warrior, and Kodomora we see appears to be a mage at the moment, but we know that's not true. That's a rogue.
Has Kodomora declared Maestra yet? I would hate to see the finals be decided by a DQ.
Citing rules from 2 seasons ago.
No, it was just last season, but yeah.
All right, so you
No
Kitten
longer
Me
have
with
to
a
do
pretty
that.
decent hand to open. We've got animated and the wow, actually, oh my god,
Double
that hand is
Lanima.
insane from You Kitten Me. Kodomora does hang on to a reconnaissance.
I noticed the rogue deck is starting at 40 health, which is not the way I've been playing rogue recently, but I mean, they
Right,
have
out
the
comes a
recon, they have the
Berserker
sketchy
on turn
stranger,
1.
they have the jackpot,
Kodomora
which
has
is
the option to just bone spike this right away. Looks like he's going to take that option. Out comes the sketchy stranger. This also has the nice impact of potentially offering a mage secret, or maybe guaranteeing a mage
one
secret.
shot, one kill, yeah.
And does in fact find the mage secret, takes it right away, and it's a good one.
Seem like pretty much ideal draws from both players. However, I think the rogue's decently favoring that matchup, and that the rogue nuts are going to line up pretty well into these warrior nuts. But let's see, I guess.
That is a
Trickster on the
trickster
top with a
in hand
jackpot.
with a
Okay.
jackpot.
Okay.
Kodomora is very well positioned to just bone spike again and play a jackpot here and just line up for a turn 4 trickster.
Well then, spoils for choice. I mean, even if they play recon, cheat out like a bigger minion on
And
board
what's
and
in the
take board from
box?
the warrior.
It's really good.
Oh my.
That is an Elec mount.
That's probably just game over on the spot.
Meanwhile, You Kitten Me still drawing all of the most powerful cards that the warrior wants to have, but not sure it's going to make enough of a difference against this high roll from Kodomora.
Yeah, the warrior nuts are not quite good into these nuts.
What is this, Justin? We don't auto rip the front lines. Oh no.
Yeah, I mean, would that even be good?
I mean,
This
the
is
rogue deck
6/6.
typically runs Denathrius,
Yeah.
right? Like,
Oh, that would
the,
be good to pull too.
the
Krakatoa, you could
warrior,
remove 2 of your opponent's small minions. That
like,
would mean
front
one
lines
carries
might not
for you.
actually have been a throw.
Okay, yeah, and wait, if you pulled Crab, that would mean your opponent, you would stop summoning minions when you reach 7. Your opponent wouldn't have that many. I mean, like, clearly this is the better play. Like, this is 100% winning. The game's
Right,
over.
right. Like, it maybe it's just always better to, get a big buffed taunt that spits out a taunt when it dies.
If
Pretty
that
good.
Elec Mount were instead a Celestial Alignment, some unplayable spell, like, front lines might have gotten there too. It would have been pretty funny.
All right, so we see You Kitten Me getting maximum hand buffs on this Crooked Cook.
See if they have teched in the Siege Breaker to silence an enemy taunt.
It's keep coming for Kodomora, finding a Queen Ajara on turn 5. Not playable right now for the extra
And they
value.
can simply Najak Hexen, this big minion that's being buffed in hand, and hide it behind the Elec Mount.
That is brutal.
Or they can object it, like...
I mean, it seems reasonable to just, play the objection here with the remaining mana and kill off one of the anima extractors.
I think every play is reasonable.
Yes. The rogue is quite far ahead.
I mean, Kodomora doing a good job taking their time and making sure they give themselves the opportunity to think of any ways they could possibly lose this game, but I'm not seeing them. You're not seeing them. Kodomora is not seeing them.
Yeah, really fortunate for Kodomora here, given the draws that You Kidding Me has had. This is the kind of insane draw that wins most of the time for an Enraged Warrior, but not when Kodomora is getting the random outcomes like this. And You Kidding Me, just, yeah, not much to do here. Picks up another card for Kodomora.
They
Can't
really
quite
did
play
get
that Ajara yet.
I hate objected.
Let's see if we can find another objection off of Sketchy.
Kodomora gonna go face and make this game shorter, or be responsible in trade to prevent the
Stays responsible. Warrior's
This
gonna
is
beat
finals,
you
so
by.
Kitten is playing it out. Has not conceded yet. Fair play. The disconnect outs.
Yeah, I don't see any realistic path to victory for the Warrior here. The Trickster Alec just absolutely ended it.
Better player won. That's all I can say.
All right, Perjury pops, and Kodomora gets to take an explosive rune. Top decks a 0-mana Null as well as the Sajara that is playable now. It's just such a disaster on You Kidding Me's side. But the fortunate thing is this is only game one.
Looking at HS replay of this patch, this matchup is apparently a 60% for Thief Rogue into the Enraged Warrior, so this is definitely one of the 60s.
I mean, if they all went like this, it would be 100. And now at this point, do you consider holding back a card and just conceding to hide what you have in your deck? Since this is closed list, Kitten Me disagrees, plays out the card, but then it's like, okay, I've seen enough. And we are on to game 2. Kodomora getting the rogue through on game 1.
Congrats to Kodomora. Yeah, and I mean, that may have been their toughest deck to get through, because I think Thief Rogue's slightly unfavored into Miracle Rogue, slightly unfavored into Zoo, looking at these HS replay stats. I mean, still, decks have flip into everything. If you just hit Jackpot Trickster, you can get there, but that was the good matchup that they hit, and they hit the good cards in the good matchup, so.
Certainly. We don't yet know what rogue You Kidding Me might have. We're going to have to keep waiting on that, since You Kidding Me goes right back with the Warrior. We see maybe a bit of an older Warrior list, already having seen the Whirling being run. That's Grom and
Is this the same
a Samro.
Okay, interesting. I had not seen those cards in Enraged Warrior before. I was confused. Is this Charge Warrior?
So, You Kidding Me starting strong. Trog in hand, Trog on board. Kodomora, though, a very defensive.
Is more health than Warlocks normally have these days.
Yes, this is, I believe, a Dankestad specialty creation.
Yeah, seeing a 40 health on some of those cards being run there. Yeah, I'll be curious to see how this deck does.
Generally, this deck is built to make aggro have a bad time. So we'll see if it pans out that way for Kodomora, but certainly the matchup that he was looking for in game 2 against this Warrior, You Kidding Me, seems to have committed to just trying to get that Warrior through. Kodomora able to clear up Trog number 2 on this turn.
Yeah, I mean, Kitten, when he saw the Warlock pop up, probably thought he got the matchup he wanted. If you look at HS replay, every Warlock is bad against Enraged Warrior. However, something tells me this Warrior is not on this Warlock is not on HS replay. So.
No accounting for things in closed lists sometimes. And Kodomora with a decision point here. Multiple options to pursue to clear up the board and the threats.
Yeah, I mean,
Elects to go school teacher.
then has this axe.
Oh wow, that is a full-blown evil being offered by that Nogling. Is that what was taken? No, he took the Shadow Blast.
That's also pretty
Prioritize
good.
single target.
I mean, Warlock doesn't have a lot of great, like, early high damage single target removal or AoE right here. Like, if this so Warrior can get going and get buffs on them, like, until Entitled Customer, and this hand size is so low, this customer is not even getting AoE. Like, if this axe starts proccing, it could be okay, but this Shadow Blast is just gonna be so clean.
True, Shadow Blast works very well. 1 mana
Or even
clear up a
had they taken
3/6.
the full-blown evil have also worked. Just the Warlock 1-for-1ing with small removal with every one of the Warrior's small minions is proving a pretty effective strategy because one of them has life tap and is not running out of the 1-for-1s and the other does not.
And now Kodomora can take board completely, chooses to trade that in for a new card instead of getting it on the board. Surprised to see the Mistress being held back here, though.
I think it was the Entitled Customer pickup that swayed it, using it as one extra AoE.
Reasonable to just wait an additional turn.
Not knowing how this Warlock deck plays, or even the cards in it, I'm not sure how it loses at this point when it's not going to run over on the early game and is starting to hit the late game. What the heck is that card?
Like I said, a Dankus Dad specialty here.
Okay, I did not think I would have to read the cards in Legacy Finals.
Crafted very specifically to deal with an enraged warrior.
Like a good pick from that, and that is indeed what Kodomora selects.
We'll see if he gets the favorable hit on the Acolyte or clears the Berserker instead. Gets the Berserker. You kidding me? Has the ability to still draw some more cards. Decent pickup too with Decimator Olgra.
Ooh, interesting. Take the card here from the Acolyte of Pain. You just play Olgra to be efficient clear. Okay, choosing to play Olgra. My gut would have been to take the card and keep the Olgra on
a
board
top deck, just as you're thinking, maybe Customer is the play. No, it's never the play. We just top deck the hero card.
Defense, even if they were left with a 4-1 here, I do not think that was winning this game. Just had to hope Tamsin wasn't in the deck. It has 40 cards. They had drawn like 10 of them. They had never tapped. Why is it fair that they have Tammy on curve?
All right, so You Kit Me is picking up some threatening cards still. We have Grom and Crazed Wretch in hand, an active location, and an axe that's fully imbued.
Card draw is just so insane too. Like, had that just been Entitled Customer, like maybe, and then the Warlock's still low on hand size, maybe you could find a world where Kitten.
Yeah, Tamsin was absolutely bonkers good. So Kodomora can pretty easily just clear up this board as well with an Entitled Customer. That's a talented Arcanist in this Warlock deck as well.
I'm not seeing a way currently in the Warlock's hand to clear up a Tempo Grom. However, Kitten doesn't necessarily know that. Arson Accusation obviously kills the Grom whenever a minion goes face. However, that Warlock hero power no longer is self-damage.
True.
And yeah, so, now by taking board, I guess the
Adept's pickup. Kit Me's gonna, looks like, trigger this on the Extractor and buff it up.
Interesting.
Or wait.
Yeah, holding it seems like the burst is the out, but
wasn't sure if they wanted to take the additional on Grom guaranteed, since Anima Extractor potentially could be cleared by
5 health from the Tamsin. It's just gonna matter so much too here. Like,
really will.
Like,
there's a
Kitten
twisting
has drawn quite well this game, but it doesn't seem like it's going to matter. Or what else can they draw? I guess Rokara is probably in the deck for more burst, the hero card.
Yes, I would expect so.
If the Warlock were just 5 health lower here, this would be a whole different ballgame.
All right, Kodomora takes the clear. Duster, funny enough, just makes Grom exactly playable instead of having 1 extra mana. Wouldn't have been relevant. All right, so here it comes.
And
This
one-off
is
lethal. It's one-off lethal!
Kitten's biggest damage push. It's
It's
so
one-off
close.
lethal!
Absurdly close.
This Warlock deck's just the nuts, what can I say? When you
And
top deck Tammy on curves.
and with this Mistress of Mixtures being able to die, that gives Kodomor enough healing that me would pretty much need exactly Rakara off the top in order to win, based on what we're looking at right now. We'll see if Kodomor can pick up any more healing too, though.
I mean, maybe Baker's in this deck. Surely there's going to be a Drain Soul or a Touch, which combined with this little Tammy picked up would probably heal out of range, even if just on the Warlocks.
I expect we're going to see a draw here from Kodomora. Order that probably not mattering too much. Now it does. Bit surprised we aren't seeing the tap first.
And Kitten probably has 2 turns, maybe? A 2-turn window to pick up the Rokara.
Oh, another imbued axe. That'll be enough over 3 turns.
Any card draw. Is Kitten gonna be 1 damage off again? It would be crazy. It also is kind of weird because the Warlock's not playing on any pressure, and the Grimoire of Sacrifices in these Shadow Manifestations. This is just gonna. Okay. It's gonna full clear. Oh no, because it's only 1 procs, because there's not enough tokens for the other ones.
Oh, it still triggers all
did not know
at the
how
same
that
time.
actually worked. Interesting.
Oh, but it survives. Okay.
If wanted to hold that more to as a defensive measure and try to drag out more turns of the weapon hitting, but maybe
that ends it. Well, again, Rakara could win, but Gigafin is huge.
Gigafin's certainly good. Is Baker in this deck? Do you want to spoil the list? What other healing is available?
I'm pretty sure it's just the touch. So you kidding me? Hoping for a Rakara draw?
Had Kitten held that whirling, it could have been pretty good to clear up this taunt here. So hindsight 2020. And I mean, I don't think this is poorly played by him by any means, because he doesn't know what the cards are in his opponent's deck. It's not possible to make good decisions if you don't know what you're playing around.
Alright, goes with buffing the minion, hitting into the taunt. Still waiting on a Rakara for a win.
He would have been dead if he didn't draw the Gigafin. It would have been exact lethal.
This madness. Alright, Kodomora at a full hand, gonna need to get a card out of hand before being able to draw. Here comes the Duster then. And we'll see if he taps for a search for healing.
Oh, Rokara 1 and 12 gets it there. Does anything else get there? There's no rush other than no charge other than Olgra and Grom apparently, right?
There's another Crazed Wretch.
Oh, okay. That would also get there. More Sacrifice is not the right 1-mana small removal card that Kodomora was looking for to feel out this.
Not quite. It does still allow for maximum face pressure.
Probably. Crazed Wretch or Rokara hero card?
And that is not a Crazed Wretch or Rakara.
This is exact lethal on board. 20 damage, 20 health. That's
going to do it. A pretty crazy finish here to this game. It looked like Warlock was very much in control, but that was an extra large Grom that almost got there.
Really went hard.
Props to you, Kitten Me, for making it so agonizingly close. Just a couple of top decks off from getting it, but it does go to Kodomora in Game 2. He is now 1 victory away from a Legacy Championship.
And I see player cams there, Kodomora head in hands, watching the game queue up, just ready for his fate.
I think we see a Warrior come back for You Kitten Me. No, You Kitten Me goes with Warlock. He's sick of playing Warrior.
Yeah, I mean, after those 2 games, that would be probably enough. He has to win them all. It doesn't matter the order. That would be enough to make me switch for certain.
All right, well, if you could if you could select the kind of draws that you want,
These
Kodomora
might
really
be the-
is
might be
having a
the
good
ideal
time with
opening
this.
hand.
And this does not look like a Zoo Warlock at all
This is
with a
clearly
Goldshire
Phylactery
Knoll in
Warlock.
hand.
Kodomora 3-keeping the Kelp Keeper, Nourish, and Juff. I'm surprised at the Nourish keep, though I guess it makes sense with Juff nerfed. And it procs the Kelp Keeper, yeah, that's... Those are pretty much the cards you exactly the cards you would want against Zoo, and although this is not Zoo from Kitten, but...
Justin, with two Warlocks being brought, one on either side, did you expect that both decks were going to be running Entitled Customer and Talented Arcanist and Defile?
I definitely did not think about the spread, but as we alluded to before the match, there are definitely a lot of rock, paper, scissors leveling games you could play with the Warrior and specifically the aggro versus Ramp Druid. So that appears to be what has happened. And oh no, Kodomora has missed for the first time all series. Where is his Innervate or Seedsman or Wild Growth? Oh no, how shall he survive?
Never lucky.
Also choosing to keep the Druid of the Reef in hand here. Not really sure what I've done there. Also have some weird turns from Kitten here, where he has the Rod, but he doesn't have like card draw to go with it.
Yeah,
It's also a weird
so
hand
gonna keep
size.
tapping and just play out a Knoll and a Mistress here. Next turn will be the Rod, and just gonna be looking for the Mines. I'd expect this is a Mine Warlock, the way this deck has looked
Yeah,
so
I mean,
far.
I've seen Mine Warlock kill on turn 7, turn 8 sometimes, and that would probably be enough to win this game. Though it'll need to be that and soon. He doesn't currently have the cards for it, and that Sire Denathorus in hand from the Druid, plus the Brand, plus the Guff. This is going to be a really early pressure clock from the Druid. And
Absolutely,
normally
Druid
Mindlock,
doing everything it
does
wants,
not
ramping
ever
fast.
run Leotard. The more is... yeah, so he missed the Wild Growth, instead he drew the Sire Brand Guff in top 10.
Are you saying, Justin, that you don't run Theatar in your Mind Warlock in order to Theatar your Phylactery back? For shame.
I've not seen it in many lists. I mean, Theatar is a card people like running, so
probably
it
not
shock me.
the optimal choice. So I doubt
More
we will
going for
see that.
card draw here over ramp with the Juff hero power. Probably not what I would have chosen, given his cards in hand, but
I think
I mean,
it looks like
reasonable.
he's still looking for power cards. Probably should have gone with the ramp there, but has more ramp in hand and probably won't get punished too hard for that choice.
I mean, even just as tempo scales to juice the Sire, like the Warlock's not going to be pressuring much. Though saving the scales could also be nice to make sure they can't just, like stick a board and apply Phylactery to that. Kitten is one catastrophe away from having a good hand, however that means he does not have a good hand. Also missing Tammy. He has drawn 15 cards out of 30 and does not have not found the hero card on turn 6.
Still looking for the important ones.
Drew 10 and out of 40 and found it, so clearly a case of player diff. The raid boss in Nixia is 1 mana short of being played, but obviously had Kodomora taken the ramp the previous turn, it would be 1 draw short of being drawn, so...
Always one short.
Yeah.
I don't think he'll complain too much, though. This is a perfectly fine turn to ramp and scale.
Yeah,
Looks like that's
pretty close to the
option.
dream draw from Druid. I mean, I guess you would probably want Theo at some point as well to be annoying for the Warlock, but you've got Juff, Brand, Denathorus, and all your ways of making tokens. And he is 12 cards into his 40-card deck.
Yes. Meanwhile, 17 cards into a 30-card deck. You kidding me? Is still looking for the important cards.
No,
Ashara active here can get one piece of the big kill combo.
Yeah, and he's not even discounting like Phylactery or Little Tammy either with this Rod. Like even it's just not really being put to combo pieces. It's discounting like removal of Entitled Customer and Defile and Grimoire, and those are not the cards you need in this matchup.
Okay, Jara always picks Ring of Tides. There it is.
Tempo out the Thalanos here, just get another draw in, or do you want to trade the shipment? Not sure.
Probably fine to play the Thalnos.
Yeah, you have talented Defile for probably be good for most clears necessary. Ooh,
Not sure we
choosing
wanted to float the mana there.
We've
But here
definitely decided at
comes
least playing mixed resets.
Onyxia.
You have hand size. This is gonna be really awkward for Kitten at the start of next turn that he can't tap because he's at full hand. To spend a mana first. Ooh, there's the catastrophe. Better late than never, but these hand size issues are gonna be very annoying. Oh wait, this is a really tough turn because you can talented Defile and dump hand and then hope off your shipment catastrophe drawing 5 you draw into small removal.
Yeah, it's definitely awkward.
So
Gonna be interesting to see
talented
how
Defile
Kitten
leaves
wants
the
to
raid boss
navigate
as
this.
a
Mistress
8/5.
first, then Thalnos.
Using
Okay.
to mill
Just
1.
going with. Hopefully for Kitten, it's not a big mill.
Mill 1. That's not one you wanted to mill, though I guess he's near the bottom of his deck, so it doesn't matter a ton.
Not super relevant anymore.
Unfortunate as well that the little Tammy was one of the later 2 cards drawn, was not discounted.
Almost at that combo.
What's this Sire at for? The Sire's already at 19 for Kodomora. What the frick? Wait, this is just lethal. Oh no, he's 1 mana off the Brand Sire.
He is 1 mana off the Brand Sire.
Okay. Getting a bit punished for not ramping a few turns ago, but I do not think it will matter. This Warlock will get a turn 9, which Kodomora should probably been trying to optimize to kill before the Warlock's turn 9, because 8 and 9 is a pretty common kill turn if the Warlock does have Rod on curve. 5 has not been discounted. It will not be a kill.
Guidance finds Aquatic. Kodomora's going digging.
Ooh,
There's the Theatar.
As if he needed anything more.
Grabs the Theatar right away. Can also Aquatic for a spammy too. Just board clear and steal the opponent's win con. What more could you love?
I'm wondering which order you play them.
Probably spammy first. I mean, does it matter to like preserve some health on?
I think it definitely matters. I think you meant to Theo first because if you're now less likely to hit the potential Phylactery in hand.
Misses.
Having 10 cards in hand. Whereas if the Phylactery was the new card off the top, then it was never or almost never a kill turn, so it would still be costing 4 mana. I shouldn't say that. Actually, it still could be.
Well, I mean, very crucially, You Kidding Me does not have Phylactery in hand for Theatar to even steal in the first place. So this looks like game over.
Yeah, the Druid does not often kill with Grand Sire for 40 damage on turn 9, but that is what is doing this game.
Yeah, sometimes you just hit the nuts.
I don't think Kitten's really done anything wrong this series, which in the 5 seed, when you do nothing wrong, it is really not that often that you get 0-3'd, and however that is the case here. Some hot draws from Kodomora, and certainly some good execution from him as well.
Oh wow, Sire can kill without Brand.
You see him shaking his fist there, he knows what this is.
Does he play the Brand? He does play the Brand. we take the extra.
The Earth Mother, and yeah, on player cams here, Kodomora going wild. Very pleased with himself, as he should be.
All right, so that is the Legacy Championship. Congratulations, Kodomora. He brings it home for the Diamond 5 with some incredibly amazing draws in every series.
Around here with the Obama medal to Obama meme. Wow, great job, Diamond 5 and their 3 seed who really brought home the title this week.
Listen, I wanted to give the glory to Kodomora. That's do it for the content. Shut up.
He rejected my offer to talk about the match and joking.
Okay, well, I guess that'll be the end of the stream.
Yeah. Peace out. Thanks, everyone. Thanks, everybody. And end.
Assume we'll get him in here.
He is here. Kodomora.
Can you hear me?
Yes, You
Hey,
made it.
welcome, congrats. Good
You
job
made
bringing
it.
it home.
Oh, that felt good. That felt good. Oh,
Sometimes we just draw the nuts.
right. Had the Goff, had the Braum, had the Sire with the ways to feed it, right? I was just counting that. I was like counting mana, and I was counting like, okay, how do we get to 13 as fast as possible? And oh, man, wow, that felt good. It was, the second game, the Ranged Warrior, I was like, please don't top off Rukara, right? Like that was like he tops like Rukara, that I'm dead
Yeah, I think he
after the
also
Giga thing.
had a crazed wretch out too at the very end there. But it was really just those two cards. So you barely dodged, exactly enough, literally on 1 health in game
Yeah.
2 to get
One
through
health.
that Enraged Warrior and get
Off deck Gigathin
the
to
Warlock
prevent
through,
the
and
3
then
damage. Off
Druid
deck.
closed it out with some really nasty Druid stuff.
Yeah, it high rolled, right? And that's the, we were debating, do we go aggro? Do we go ramp? I mean, and we play tested that a bunch. And ironically, not against that Warlock. And so, yeah, it felt good, and it drew the nuts, right? It wasn't, and he gave me a board to feed off of, was the other thing. So it was good on both sides. So
Yeah,
that is,
unfortunately for
yeah.
you Kit and me, they just could not draw the important cards that they needed for the deck. They still, at that point in the game, with I think 3 cards left in their deck, did not even have a phylactery.
Oh, yeah,
I
that's,
mean, Rod on curve for the Warlock is normally killing by turn 9, but not when you never draw Phylactery and you don't discount Little Tammy.
yeah, I mean, yeah, sometimes Hearthstone's a swingy game, right? And
Yeah.
And if there was
Well,
any
you
hand
did have the
for
3/5.
if there was any hand for the Warrior to win the unfavorable against Rogue, it was probably the Warrior hand that you Kid and me actually had. Unfortunately for them, you again just nuts with an Elk mount on a Trickster on turn 4 that just the game over on turn 4 of game 1. So sometimes things break your way, and you did a great job of capitalizing on it. So congrats to you.
No, I appreciate it. Yeah, that's what that jackpot. Sometimes you get lucky, and that one card was dead, but it really didn't matter because the other one was really, really good. And it sometimes you just get lucky. But it was a great match, and no matter, it was super stressful. Every turn was super stressful. Championship game on streamed and against a great opponent, right? I think you can is probably the best opponent I've played all year long. Yeah,
What more could you ask for? Well, maybe a game
for sure.
5, but
Yeah, well,
not from your perspective, I'm sure.
No, yeah, not from my perspective at all. But definitely glad the way it went, and happy Denkus. I think Denkus is probably the happiest person right now since he does not have to play, and yeah.
I was curious as well. That was clearly a
Mhm.
very Genghis Dad inspired Warlock deck. How many games on it did you have before deciding to bring it in such a key match? Very unorthodox deck.
So me and Denkus are actually very similar in so like throughout the season, oftentimes I'd bring up ideas and he'd bring up ideas. I was like, that's perfect. That's exactly how I want to play the game. And so it's definitely that's a Denkus inspired deck. I mean, the just worrying about boards going wide and be able to clear them efficiently was kind of the game plan there. And hoping there was Enraged Warrior or wasn't someone trying to outthink us and go like Control Warrior, just like a sidestep to, I think it was always going to be Enraged Warrior. Now that one ran the higher curve, right? It ran the Hell Scream and the 6 health guy that damages the board. So luckily enough, I think it had enough sauce to kind of remove all that stuff, and even Hellscream getting double buffed. Yeah,
Yeah, I wonder
it's super
what
close.
that rogue deck from Kitten was, because had it not been the timely top deck hero card on curve for you, or top deck Gigafin right before dying to the weapon damage, had that match gone the other way, I don't think that Warlock would have stood a chance against Phylactery Warlock. And had the rogue from Kitten been a Draka Miracle Rogue, I don't think it would do very well in that matchup either. This could have easily
Yeah,
gone in the
yeah,
direction.
you're
But
absolutely right. That one was mainly for the, if they brought, it was mainly more for Enraged Warrior, and then if they brought like Imp Curse, right? So I think the lineup that they brought was perfect. Was the correct lineup. It was would
even
have
if the
totally.
Warrior got through the Druid, like, oh wow, we were talking about on paper before the match about who do you think is favored. Like now knowing what each player brought, I think Kitten was favored. It just did not pan out that way in the actual games. He drew some good
Yeah,
hands and executed them well.
yeah. Going into it, I didn't feel favored at all. I mean, I definitely thought the Druid bring was a weakness. Especially against that lineup. I didn't. I'm with you. I mean, if it were a neutral discussion, I would have been with you on that. I think they were favored. I don't think that wasn't the case. It was just more of, could we get lucky enough, and could we make a couple different techs enough to where we can shift a couple points in our favor, right? So if it draws well, it wins. And today was a good day. Today was a good day.
Yeah. Heard memes some of the time, not every time, and you took that some of the time and made it every time in the sample size of one.
Yeah, exactly. Druid's the best deck in the world, right? Like that. That's what our takeaways are. Yeah, it was, good, for me, this is the fourth season, and coming close a couple times, and finally be able to close one out, definitely feels good. Glad to be able to do it for the team, right? Just we've had a great team all year long, and be able to, come to fruition, right, and have it matter at the very end, I think is, yeah, that's super big.
Yeah, as I understand it, Kodomora, this is not only your first Legacy Championship, but it is the first Legacy Championship for Neji Boston, for Dankus Dad, and for Rayscription.
Yep, that is correct. I believe that is correct, and that means I'm the same as them, right? Like we're all equal. Is that what that
Yes,
means?
yes, exciting stuff.
No,
We'll
it's
all
good. I
have
mean,
the same
yeah.
golden role in the THL server.
Exactly. No, but this is, from top down, from the team creation at the very beginning, I think was top notch. And then just, there wasn't a week that I think we went into, and Ron, you can speak to this as well, but like where I didn't think we had three guys that could win, right? Like it was a super solid season. Grateful to be on this team, and glad we can take the win.
Absolutely. I'm over here obviously very biased since I am a part of this team that won the championship with you, but trying to remain, somewhat neutral-ish for the broadcast. But definitely very excited to see your hard work pay off and see you clutch out the championship for your team. So big congratulations once again. Do you have any other things that you want to say before we, I guess, wrap up the stream?
First and foremost, I mean, I really super appreciative of THL as a league, and to give us players that aren't pro or aren't trying to be pro that competitive juice, kind of, once a week at least, and super appreciative of that. And someone that's in the gaming industry, the efforts are not lost on me, and so big congrats and big thank you for another successful season, and definitely look forward to more to come. And then all the players, and Saku, and anyone that ops, and the casters. I've been on the casting side, so I know that, while it's fun, it's still an extra, a couple hours out of your day. So I definitely appreciate all the casters and all the ops, Saku, Dr. Fish, and others, Wild9, and I forget the others that I haven't gone with. But yeah, just super thankful, and now we get to do it again. Come on next season.
Absolutely. Well said.
Speaking of next season, have you given a look to how much total PR this team has? I know Diamond's not happening next season.
This
But
team
is there gonna be
is
a
not
run
coming back.
What's going on?
We can't
Okay,
run this
wait.
one
With
back.
these results not inputted, the team has a cumulative PR about to go up. As is, it has a PR of 2,064. So you'll need to
Yeah.
shed only about like 200, 250. So yeah, you can take Ron Mexico and turn him into a Hugh
Actually,
Kissinger.
that's exactly the play that they should be doing. Replace me, keep the rest of the team, go out and win another title.
It's like I said. I mean, it was a great season. It was a great team. And I think we have already figured out our places for next season, but we'll wait on that. But like, it's definitely looking forward to it. Super excited, and no matter what, I mean, these seasons are a good time for everybody. I mean, it's through the ups and downs. It's still a joy to get on here and play once a week and have it mean something, right? It's not just ladder. It's not just whatever. It does matter, even if it's just ego and clout, right? So yeah, good times.
Virtual high fives all around. I can hear the claps.
Absolutely, absolutely.
All right.
All right.
Thanks. Godamora is what's been chanted in chat there for a few. So
Awesome. Well, thanks, guys. I'm gonna go join my team channel and celebrate with them. So appreciate
perfect.
it. Thanks a lot.
Enjoy, dude.
Take care.
Bye.
Holy moly! Well,
Yeah, that was quite a series. Similar to Neji versus Super Chicken, where in Neji's sweep it was just high rolling draws turn after turn, and sometimes that happens. Hearthstone is also a game involving a lot of randomness, and it paid off for Kodamora this time around. Diamond 5 champions of season 22.
So Neji can get that ugly sweater of or actually the new sweater, we'll call it New Jersey, whatever. Since we're into hockey, I guess. Of winning the championship winning jersey. So
New Jersey? Is this a Marty thing?
Could be. But any final words from our casters before we hand it off to your various TV channels that people are watching?
I just got to say, happy to be here as always with you guys. I think it was a fun season to be a part of. Love being a part of the THL community, and looking forward to what we have in store next season with a much crazier set of cards too. With Death Knights coming out, should shake things up. But thanks as always for all the work that you do, Saku. Thank you for joining just in time on pretty short notice, and just appreciate you guys and appreciate all you out there watching.
Yeah. Justin, any final words before we go, dude?
Disappointed Justin didn't win the title, but I guess Rob's not too bad of a person to have the yellow in the role for a season.
Love those backhanded compliments. Thanks, buddy. They're my favorite.
All right. Everybody take care. We will start spitting some information on the THL Discord, so keep in tune to that. I'm sure Lotus will have to try and wrangle up the cats to try and interview them for Hearth Center. So just keep an eyeball out on the time. So on behalf of myself, Ron, and Justin, have a safe night out there, and we will see you soon. Take care.
Bye, everybody.